Hi students, this is Kalpana, your English lecturer, and I am here to complete the prose lesson Shyness My Shield, which I started yesterday. Shyness My Shield by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. I hope all of you remember the title of the book from which this beautiful essay has been extracted from. Yes, my students, though I can't hear your answers, I am very well sure that many of you gave me the right answer. It is My Experiments with Truth, the autobiography of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Now, before starting our today's session, I would like to revise a few things of our previous class. There are basically three main ideas discussed in our essay. The first one is Gandhi's initial fear or shyness to give a public speech. Secondly, the various attempts made by Gandhi to overcome the shyness and deliver a public speech. And thirdly, Gandhi's final statement that this shyness of his actually acted as a shield in molding his personality. In yesterday's class, we also discussed about the first attempt made by Gandhi to give a public speech and how he failed in that attempt. Now, in today's class, let us see what are the other two attempts made by Gandhi and whether he succeeded or failed in those attempts. Let us start our today's session. Are you ready? When Gandhi was in England, once he happened to go to a city called Ventnor with one of his friends, Sriyut Mazmudar. Both of them stayed with a vegetarian family there. In their neighborhood, there was an author by name Mr. Howard, and he wrote a book called The Ethics of Diet. When Gandhiji and Mazmudar met Mr. Howard, these two were invited to speak at a public meeting supporting vegetarianism, and we all know that Gandhi is not good at public speaking. So immediately when Mr. Howard invited them to speak, Gandhi became very nervous, but he couldn't put down his invitation. So what Gandhi did is he prepared whatever he wanted to speak in that meeting and wrote them on a piece of paper. Actually, Gandhi knows that it is not a good idea to read one's speech. We have to speak fluently. We should not read from the paper. But still, as he is not an extempore, as he is not a person who can speak very fluently, very confidently, he wrote down all his thoughts on a piece of paper and brought them to the meeting. But when Gandhi stood up to read his speech, his eyes became blurred. Nothing was clear, and his body trembled out of fear. So he handed over the paper to his friend Mazmudar, and his friend read the speech for him. After Gandhi's speech, Mazmudar also gave an excellent speech, and it was applauded by everyone over there. Gandhi felt very ashamed and extremely sad for his inability to speak in public. So this is the second attempt made by Gandhi in public speaking, and even in this attempt, Gandhi was an utter failure. Okay students, now let us see what is the third, in fact the last attempt made by Gandhi to deliver a public speech. Gandhi's final attempt to deliver a public speech in England. So, the last effort made by Gandhi to deliver a public speech was actually on the occasion of his departure to motherland. What is Gandhi's motherland? Yes, it is none other than India. I already told you in the yesterday's class that Gandhi went to England in order to study law. So after completion of his course, he wanted to return to his own country. So he gave a farewell party to all his friends at a very well-known restaurant called Holborn Restaurant. And the speciality of this dinner is that Holborn Restaurant is a very famous non-vegetarian restaurant in England. And Gandhi's idea is that having a vegetarian meal in a vegetarian restaurant is nothing special. So he wanted to surprise his friends by giving a very extravagant in the sense having many items, several dishes. He wanted to give a very pompous dinner to all his vegetarian friends in a non-vegetarian restaurant. And the idea worked out very well, and all his friends were extremely happy. And in England, dinners are accompanied with speeches, music, dance, fun, jokes, etc. So even Mahatma Gandhi's farewell party also had some speeches. All his friends gave beautiful speeches explaining their association with Gandhi. And even Gandhi prepared himself to give a brief but very motivating speech in this farewell party. Actually, he wanted to narrate a joke, a small anecdote to all his friends and make them laugh and thereby proceed with his speech. But when he stood up, his mind became blank and he was unable to utter even a single word. So, because of this condition, Gandhi just abruptly ended his speech by saying, "Thank you, gentlemen, for having accepted my invitation and coming over here." That's all. He said just the single line and sat down. So he prepared very well for the speech. He wanted to narrate a joke to all his friends and make them laugh. But finally, he himself became a joke in that party as he was unable to utter even a single word. Okay? So this is Gandhi's final attempt to deliver a public speech. And do you feel that Gandhi succeeded here? No. He was a failure again in his final attempt. So this shyness of Gandhi continued all throughout his stay in England. But somehow he was able to overcome this shyness a little bit after he went to South Africa to practice law. He went to South Africa to practice law, to become a lawyer. So there somehow he could overcome a little bit of this shyness. Okay. Now, Gandhi's shyness and its advantages. So, from all these three examples, what we understood is Gandhi felt very ashamed, Gandhi felt very sad, and he considered his shyness as a disadvantage. These are our feelings. But what Gandhi felt about his shyness is, though my shyness troubled me a bit, I never considered it as a disadvantage. This is Gandhi's statement. So Gandhi, what he says is, though my shyness occasionally troubled me, sometimes it troubled me, sometimes it made people to laugh at me, but still, it is not at all a disadvantage. He considered his shyness as an advantage. So let us see what are Gandhi's feelings about his shyness. Its greatest benefit is that it taught Gandhi the economy of words. Economy. What is meant by economy? Careful usage of anything is called economy. So Gandhi's shyness taught him the economy of words. He became a very careful speaker. Careful speaker in the sense, he thought twice before he uttered a single word. He used very few words. He spoke very briefly. Okay, but that brief message had a lot of meaning in it. He developed the habit of controlling his thoughts. There is no such instance during his lifetime where he uttered or wrote a thoughtless word for which he had to regret later. This is a very good thing. Students, all of you please remember that speech is silver, but silence is gold. If you want to succeed in life, if you want to have good relationship with your family members, friends and relatives, the only one principle that you have to keep in your mind is speak little, think more. So what we people do is, we first speak and then think. But actually the process is, we need to think first and speak later. But ordinary individuals, we speak first and then we feel bad for whatever we have spoke, because the words, until they are in our mouth, they will be under our control. When the words come out of our mouth, we will be under the control of our words. Okay, so always students, remember this point. Think twice before you speak, because after you speak, you can never take back your words. You may say sorry to your friends, you may say sorry to your parents, you may say sorry to your relatives, but the word and the pain that creates to the other person can be never erased from their hearts. Okay, so because of this shyness, Gandhi used to speak very little. So because of speaking little, there were very less troubles to Gandhi. There will be more troubles to a person who speaks more. If you continuously speak a lot, you will have lot of enemies, because you will be speaking something or the other which hurts the other person, and they will become your enemies. So Gandhi's shyness has helped him to control his thoughts. It has taught him the economy of words. Economy of words means to speak carefully, to speak very briefly, and all over it became an advantage to Gandhiji. Okay, and he very confidently says that there is no situation in my life where I uttered a thoughtless word, either in my speech or in my writing, because I am very careful while speaking or writing. So I never spoke or I never wrote a thoughtless word. So that is Gandhi's statement. Experience had taught Gandhi that silence was part of the spiritual discipline. So you might have seen the Maharshis and Yogis. How these people will be? They will be very pleasant, very peaceful. Do you know the reason for that? They speak very little. So try to speak little. Try to inculcate this habit of being silent. Think more, speak less. That should be our ruling principle. Now, generally people have the weakness of exaggerating or suppressing or modifying the truth, and silence is a must to overcome this tendency. So we are ordinary individuals, and we generally have this habit. When we know something, we don't exactly speak the same words. When we narrate the thing to others, it gets modified. Either we exaggerate it, or we suppress it, or else we modify it into some other thing and narrate it to others. So we don't speak the truth as it is. Truth gets modified from one person to another person. So in order to overcome this weakness, the only weapon that we have is silence, and this weapon is best used by Gandhiji to mold his personality. Okay? A man of few words will rarely be thoughtless in his speech. He will carefully measure each and every word before speaking. So, if you are a very silent person, or if you speak very less, then you won't make more mistakes, because before speaking you will think twice. You will measure each and every word. Measure in the sense, you won't put that word into a weighing balance and weigh it. Measure in the sense is, you will be very careful while speaking. You will think more and then speak less. There will be no problem with others, because everything is right. When you speak very fast, when you speak more words, there is more chance to make mistakes. Okay, so try to speak less. This is what Gandhi says. So Gandhi finally realized that his shyness in reality has been his shield. It helped him to grow holistically and gave him the ability to understand the truth. So this is very, very important, students. So Gandhi says that his shyness in reality, it is not a disadvantage. It is a very, very advantageous tool which helped him to mold his personality, to develop holistically. Holistically in the sense, completely. Mentally, emotionally. So it helped him to develop holistically, and it also gave him the ability to understand the truth. people who are silent, they are very, very good at judgment. They can judge, they can assess the other person, they can judge the situation very correctly. Okay, so this is Gandhi's final statement about his shyness. Gandhi says that his shyness, in fact, acted as a shield. It helped him to mold his personality, grow holistically, and to understand the truth. As we all know, what are the two weapons used by Gandhiji in our freedom struggle? One is non-violence and the other one is truth. Truth, it is a very, very powerful weapon, and Gandhi's shyness helped him to understand the truth. Okay, so these are the advantages that Gandhi gained because of his shyness. So now tell me, students, is Gandhi's shyness an advantage or a disadvantage to him? Yes. Initially, we might have felt that Gandhi's shyness is a disadvantage because he was unable to speak properly in public, and it made others to laugh at him. He felt very sad and ashamed of himself. All these things we might have thought. But finally, when we read these conclusions made by Gandhi, we feel that Gandhi's shyness is really his shield. It protected him from making mistakes. It helped him to grow holistically. It gave him the ability to understand the truth. Okay, students, I hope all of you understood the lesson very well. And if possible, I will also give the gist of this lesson in my next video. Okay, before ending today's session, only a 2 minutes slide. So these are some of the new words which we discussed in this essay. Vocabulary is very important. If you want to become a very good speaker in English, then you need to acquire a lot of vocabulary. So let us see what are the meanings of these new words. Puritan. Puritan, a strict and serious follower of Christianity. So who is a Puritan? A Puritan is a person who belongs to Christianity, but he is a very strict and very serious follower of Christianity. And the example for this is Mr. Hills in our essay. Number 2, holistic. So just in the previous slide we got this word. Holistic means complete. So Gandhi's shyness helped him to grow holistically, to develop holistically, completely. Hesitancy, slow in action or speech. So Gandhi's hesitancy in speech is because of his shyness. Economy, careful management of resources. So in the previous slide we got this word, economy. Gandhi's shyness taught him the economy of words. He started using words very carefully, very few words, very less talk. Okay? Regret. Regret means feeling sorry. When we do a mistake, we feel sorry, we regret. Usually, sorry for the inconvenience, we regret for the inconvenience, they will be saying. So regret means feeling sorry. Blurred. Blurred means unclear, fuzzy. Okay, unclear, fuzzy, not at all clear. That is blurred. Eve. Eve, on the eve of his departure to motherland. Eve. Eve means a festive occasion, an occasion to celebrate. Christmas Eve. Christmas festival. Eve. Eve is an occasion to celebrate. A happy occasion is called as an eve. Anecdote. A small story. A small story, a small incident, narrating a small incident is called as anecdote. Spiritual, divine, related to God. So these are some of the new words which are discussed in our present essay. Thank you very much, students, for your patient listening, and I hope and I wish that all of you understood this lesson very well. Thank you very much, students. I will join you tomorrow with a new lesson again. Happy learning, happy day, have a nice time.